Hey everybody, I'm March. If you were just watching a minute ago, you saw me playing Rocket Knight Adventures, but now I will be playing Micro Machines for the Sega Genesis. And as with the last run, I'm joined by my couch. Introduce yourselves.
Hello, I am Noob Guy 57.
Hi, I'm Dre J. I know slightly more about this one. So there we go.
Okay, so this is kind of a long run, so I want to get right into it. Who do we want to be? Obviously, we want to be Spider, because look at that guy. So time will start in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so Micro Machines is a game that was released on many different systems. Nintendo, Game Boy, Master System, and of course the Genesis. Every version is a little bit different. I prefer the Genesis version, obviously, because here I am running it. But I'll go over a little bit later what the various differences are, because they're kind of silly. So now we completed the first lap of one race just to prove that we can hold a controller. And now we picked our guys, and we're on to the first real race. So in this game, the course is more of a suggestion than anything. As you can see, I've gone way off already, and you don't even see the course for most of this particular map. Some maps are more like this than others, but basically there's a hidden checkpoint system, and basically they line all of the courses, but some of them are required and some of them are not. They're fairly large. They're about the size of 4 of these checkerboards in the back, checker blocks or whatever, squares. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a very fast first level, as you can see. And so some of them are required, and if you miss them, two things can happen. Well, if you're short, then you just aren't as fast as you could be. But if you're long, either A, it'll blow up your car, or B, it'll set you back an entire lap. So we're going to be, throughout this entire race, we're going to be trying to stay on the cutting edge of that. Obviously, we don't want to push it too far because we don't want to risk exploding and losing a bunch of time, but we also want to go fast. So it's kind of, it's interesting in that regard. You can kind of choose your level of difficulty in some ways, which I don't know. I think that's kind of cool. So I spent a long time routing this game. It's not a super popular speedrun game by any means. The folks who played it before me basically played it as intended, and they did that very, very well. But I spent a long time looking at the various checkpoints, where how far can we push all of this stuff, and I found a lot of stuff. As it turns out, there's another runner who runs on the Nintendo version who found a lot of the same stuff that I did, but I ended up finding quite a bit that he had not found. So that kind of goes to show that, just looking for stuff, playing around, not thinking too much about what other people have already done, you can find a lot that way. Because I don't think if that hadn't gone that way, I just would have been like, oh, this is what exists in the game, and I probably wouldn't have found a lot of the things that I found. So this level, the main thing we want to do is not run into the super glue spots, because as you might guess, little miniature toy versus super glue, the super glue is going to win that fight every time, and also kill a lot of our speed. So we want to avoid that. That's like goal number 1 of this race. Don't hit the super glue. Goal 2 is to race good lines. And I want to put a disclaimer out that I'm not a racing specialist. I enjoy a good racing game, but by no means am I an expert at racing. Most of my interest in this game comes from breaking it. So if you're watching it and you're like, boy, this guy could be racing better lines, I know, I'm working on it. So now our first racer got eliminated. We have to pick a new one. One of the nice things about this game is that all the menuing can be buffered. So for a lot of this, I'm just holding down start, I'm just holding down B. No need to mash to get frame perfects. So we're going to Yeah, there you can see that the hitboxes on some of these things are a little weird. You can see the water did not quite line up with where it looked like it would. All right, and we got through that. That's really good because that part can really mess you up. And yeah, that was actually a really clean bonus one. Yeah. So here I can just hold the start button down, and we're just going to go straight into the next race. So there's shoot, I should know how many. There's a certain number of vehicles in this game, each with 3 tracks, and each with slightly different physics. Some of them drift more than others. Some of them have better acceleration than others. So you do kind of have to have like a wide variety of experience with this game. I am the world record holder for this game currently. Thank you. I actually set my last world record. I've set it twice. The last time I set it was at another marathon. And I don't want to jinx things, and I know I'm already jinxing it by even saying anything, but I have found some rather large time saves, like we're talking like a minute, and I have not yet PB'd with those. So there's a non-zero chance that we might get a repeat of that. Just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. I'm gonna do my best to do that for you guys.
But not jinxing.
Not jinxing.
Correct.
Nothing jinxed.
Correct.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, after you finish the race, you can kind of inch around by turning right and left. So it's fun to go into the water there. Okay, so here's another oatmeal level. Not a whole lot going on in this level, so if we do have any announcements to make, now would be a great time.
And yes, we do. We've got a donation that just came in from Anonymous. Let's go March TV and Noob Guy 57. I cannot believe how easy you make these games look with as many hours as I struggled playing these on the Sega Lux. Keep up the good work.
I think I might know who that is.
Yeah, I might know who that is.
All right, and as for upcoming donation incentives, we do have the character choice for Super Mario 3D World. Right now it's $2 for Luigi and $2 for Toad, with nothing on Mario and Peach. Right now you can get it for a steal. Like basically you can pick the character you want right now if you get some donations in for those. So yeah, I got nothing else.
Cool. So one thing about this game, I don't want to rag on it too much, but it's pretty stark, especially coming off of Rocket Knight Adventures, that the sound design could be better.
Yeah.
Normally when I stream this game, I would actually stream with just music going, because it kind of drones on a little bit. There could be music for the laps. It's kind of odd to me that there's no music now, but also I guess be careful with what you wish for, because it could have terrible music here.
It could be, yeah.
It is bizarre, though.
Yeah. So far we're doing fine. This is the first of the Formula One cars. These can be a little tricky. They're fast and they handle very well, but they can kind of get away from you a little bit, and some of these turns, they come up on you so quick that it can be hard to react to them. So we're going to try to do a quick turn here to get off of the side of the pool table. Oops, not like that. See, I kind of got away from me there a little bit. Little shortcut there. Those pockets have very strange hitboxes, so we need to make sure that we enter them in just the right way, and that will be more of a problem in later levels.
This game actually was released twice on the NES. Once on a normal cartridge, and the second time on the Aladdin Deck Enhancer, which was made by Codemasters. It was an utterly useless add-on that did nothing at all, except basically put a piece of plastic in between the cartridge and the game. So if you bought an Aladdin Deck Enhancer, I'm sorry, you just wasted your money on absolutely nothing of value.
Wild, I had no idea.
Yep.
I think the Nintendo version is also unlicensed.
Yeah, it is. It's unlicensed, and both versions of the game are identical.
It's crazy.
The Aladdin Deck Enhancer, I believe, did put Codemasters out of business. So
Oh wow.
this is kind of their last hurrah in the game development market.
So yeah, I guess we could talk a little bit about the differences between the Genesis and the NES version. So one of the things about the NES version is that, so in both versions, you get every time you get 3 wins, and they don't have to be in a row, you get a bonus stage. The thing that's different though is that in the Genesis version, these are capped at 3, whereas the NES version, you just keep getting them. So to do the NES version quickly, you have to come in second quite a bit. And that involves some AI manipulation because there is rubber banding in the game. So if you go fast, you will finish faster. I personally dislike dealing with AI, so I don't think I'll ever run that version. But I definitely like this version where you just go fast, like my shirt says. So this has one of the weirder turns in the game, which I do not like. This one right here. Okay, good. That one can really, it doesn't look like much, but the hitboxes are so wonky that you have to like ignore what you see and go with what's in your heart. So again, like the first Warriors level, we need to just avoid super glue. Another fun fact, so a lot of these hitboxes, as I've pointed out, don't line up with their visuals. However, in the NES version, which came out first, the visuals line up quite a bit better. So I don't know why they went back and were like, let's make this harder. Let's make this not line up as much. They also made these warrior cars. You see how they have these spikes on the front? Like that has like no impact in the Genesis version, but in the NES version, basically any car-on-car collision will result in an explosion. So the AI can really mess you up if you let them. So here, we, just like the first warrior level, we just want to avoid the super glue. Avoid the super glue. Race a good line, but most importantly, avoid the super glue. See, a little bounce like that actually isn't a big deal at all compared to getting stuck in super glue, just because it slows your acceleration down to 0, like you lose all your torque. So we can't cut that a little bit tighter. And one of the reasons I like to speedrun this game, in marathons in particular, is that I really feel like it could have a pretty cool speedrunning community. I always say that I would love to see what the like Mario Kart crew or the F-Zero crew could do to a game like this, or the GTA 1 crew, for instance. Because this game it's got its bugs, and I'm sure there's things that I've missed in that regard. And I would love to see like ultra shortcuts or pixel perfect lines, all that kind of stuff, which I'm working on it, but yeah, I'd like to see more in that regard. So this is the first level that has what you might call a glitch. I call it the bubble railgun, and what we're going to do here is at one point there's going to be this tube that you're supposed to go through. But instead of going through it, we're going to squeeze between the outside of the tube and these bubbles. So let's see if we can do this. I think we're not quite lined up right. We should get it the second time though. And we go flying off screen around the bend. And yeah, obviously that saves a good chunk of time. I knew about that I knew you could cut through there as a kid. I didn't know that you could get so much speed doing that as a kid. So that was fun to revisit that as an adult. I kind of didn't get as much speed as I could have there, but that's fine. Still better than failing it outright. So the last time isn't such a great boost because the finish line is pretty close, but we're gonna go for it anyways, just because it's so much fun. Oops. Oh, come on. All right, we're just gonna go straight. That's what I get for saying I want to have fun. The game's just like, nope, no fun for you.
No fun for you.
Jeez.
No fun, only run.
No fun, only run. Exactly. So this turbo wheel race has a bit more shortcuts than the last one, including one shortcut that every time I go for it, I still don't know if it's actually a shortcut or not. It feels like it is in my heart, but I'm not completely sure. Yeah, as long as your wheels are on ground, you're fine. But here, I'm not exactly sure if this is a real shortcut or not, but it feels like it is. And you might ask, well, why not fire it up an emulator and find out for sure? And the reason is that this game has some wonky issues in emulation. I've yet to find an emulator that seems to properly work. And what's really strange is that not only do the emulators, I mean, they will work, but they get like the acceleration values wrong. I don't know how that's even possible. That if a ROM is a ROM, right? I don't know how, like, you would expect that maybe it runs fast or runs slow, but like the actual acceleration curves are different, which is very strange. And the save states on the EverDrive don't work with this either. The game just constantly freezes up if you try to use any save states. So yeah, this game, it's definitely got a lot working against it from the speedrunning world. I'd really love to come up with a ROM hack to make some of this easier, but that's a little outside of my abilities. Try to convince this guy to help
Yeah,
with this someday.
maybe someday. If you are a software developer, there's an off chance software developer, please make us a better Sega Genesis emulator. You will be forever remembered in any Sega Genesis community.
So this is the last of the bonus levels. Bonking left and right, that's okay, it's fine, it's fine. This one has a fun little shortcut towards the end. Okay, that must have been intended. I feel like this must have been intended, but we can just kind of come up here and come all the way over, completely going straight, and we're done. And that cuts like a fairly long, winding little section. It's kind of crazy, but it must have been intentional. So this is the first of the choppers level. The choppers levels, so I've heard this rumor, and I believe it to be true, which is that apparently when they were making this game, they gave the choppers the base generic handling properties with the intention to come back later and make them feel more helicoptery, but then for whatever reason they just didn't do that. So the helicopters, they're kind of boring to control. There are no shortcut opportunities because of the solid borders here. If someone could find a way to break out of these borders, that'd be pretty cool. And another reason why we think that might be the case is because the Game Boy version does have different physics for the helicopters. They're slidier and feel more like, different from the other vehicles. All right, so here we're going to show off. This is definitely an actual glitch. It's only going to happen on the last lap, but I need some time to explain what's going to happen. So basically, as I explained in the very first race, the entire track is lined by checkpoints, and if you look at the checkerboard, it's like groups of 4 of these squares are what make up the checkpoints. And if you go on a checkpoint that it doesn't want you to go onto, it will either explode you or it will set you back a lap. And I think what happened was they must have hard-coded a specific protection against in some areas that will keep you from losing a lap. And when it does that, what it does instead is, it explodes your car. But unlike the normal exploding code, it very briefly decrements the lap counter. So I'm at 2 laps right now. It would briefly go down to 1 lap, right? And then pop right back up to 2 once I respawn. Well, if I do that on the last lap, it's going to pop down to 0. And when it goes to go back up to 1, well, it can't because the race is over because we went to 0. So in this this isn't the last lap. So if you keep in mind, I'll point it out. The time from, let's see here. The time from here, till the end of the level. So here, that's how long that normally takes. But we're gonna have a nice little shortcut on this last lap that should save a few seconds. Not actually sure exactly how many seconds it saves, but. I'm already kind of shaking a little bit. We're not that far into the speedrun. Just, yeah.
It's a very solid run so far.
Yeah, pretty happy with it so far. Shouldn't say stuff like that, but. Yeah, it's been a long day of funness. So here comes the explosion, goes down to 0, first place, lap is over. What do we got next? Okay, so this is just a plain old boat. Unfortunately, there's no bubble railgun in this one. We just have to race good lines. I swear that there's got to be a way to get some extra speed by bouncing into these bubbles, because every now and again I bounce into them and I get this like random burst of speed, and I've spent some time trying to like harness the power of the bubbles, but I haven't found anything conclusive. You can also kind of slingshot off that whirlpool, but it's risky because if you go down the whirlpool, it has a very slow animation, and you know, lose you a ton of time and only gain you a tiny little bit of time if you got it right. So there's definitely some big question marks with this game and with this particular type of race for sure. But yeah, we're here at 2DCon in Minneapolis. It's hosting Midwest Speed Fest, which has also been a lot of fun. Had a long day of looking at costume contests, playing video games, all kinds of. They have a like indie game booth, and they have of course Midwest Speed Fest, and yeah, it's a really good time. I'm really glad I came out here for this.
We're very grateful we were accepted this.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely. All right, so there goes Emilio. So yeah, I'm just holding left and start, and then once we get onto our next racer, I'm just going to release left, and that's a frame perfect character selection, which is nice. So the tank levels, so when I first started running this game, I kind of slept on the tank levels a little bit, because I mean, these things are so slow. Like, look how slow these tanks are, right? And they don't handle very well, and yeah. But the thing is, because they're so slow, like every little pixel of shortcut is important. So we're going to try to push to the limits how far we can go before we don't get exploded. And the other thing is, if you mess up a checkpoint and get exploded or lose a lap, like you're just done because they're so slow. And I definitely found quite a bit of shortcuts for the tanks here. The first level not so much, but the latter two are quite heavy, which is good because they're so slow. Another challenge about running this game is that a lot of these levels look very similar, and so sometimes I like kind of question myself, like, is it this Green Army Man or is that a different map where you look at the Green Army Man? Like, kind of have to keep it all straight in my head. That was a little wide, but that's okay. So, pretty straightforward. Okay, so here's another Formula One car. We just have to make sure that we go properly in the side pockets, because the side pockets in particular are quite a nuisance. So here I need to make sure that I go into the bottom half of it, otherwise you'll bonk into the back, and it's quite annoying. So here we have another dismount. This one's slightly easier than the first level because kind of a better frame of reference in my opinion for it. So we'll see if we can do a full speed dismounts. Dun, and there we go. Didn't have to slow down. And that might not look dangerous, but the thing is that if this car falls off the side of the playing card, like even like a millimeter, you explode.
Yep.
Which is just so obnoxious. Like, I had these toys as a kid. I know they're a lot more durable than that, so I don't know. I don't know about that. We're gonna go for another fast dismount. Dun, and dun. Yeah, easy peasy. I never mess that up, you guys. Never once. Every now and again, the game will kind of get away from you because, like, as you're turning, you know, there's only, I think, 32 distinct directions. Is that right? 32, 16? I don't know. There's only so many distinct directions, and sometimes you press and you think that you have changed direction, but you actually haven't. I believe it's kind of a subpixel thing, because you can tap the direction and the car will kind of start to turn, but then like not. And so sometimes, every now and again, that'll happen, and I'll think that I'll turn, and I'll go to correct that, and then of course it'll pick up the correction, and then I'll veer off in a direction I didn't mean to go. So this is one of the harder maps in the game. I found a lot of cool stuff in this map, so hopefully I can demonstrate it all for you here. First, we're going to cut that whole turn and balance on here. We can cut here a little bit, but here's a shortcut I found that I like to call Dead Man's Turn. So we're going to cut underneath here, cut up here, tag this checkpoint, go against traffic, line up straight for this bridge, and there you go.
Rulers are a lot harder than they look. If you're off by a little, it's pretty much you're done.
Yeah.
Off into the void.
Which I hope I don't demonstrate. It's kind of inevitable that I demonstrate at least once per run, but we'll try to stay on our rulers. And this level does also have an early finish glitch too. So it's got it all. Probably my favorite level. Oops. Okay, that's fine. I took that a little bit wide, but it's kind of hard because you don't have a great frame of reference. Yeah, and we want to come off this jump. Oh, we're a little short. Oh no, oh no, oh no. It's fine. It's fine. So we want to bonk off the bottom of that binder, because if we do, we'll be nice and lined up for that bridge. But yeah, obviously I didn't quite have enough speed there, and paid the ultimate price, kind of.
One of the only major mistakes, though, so far, so your run has been very sharp besides that.
Yeah, I'm pretty, if nothing else, I can say I started strong. Hopefully finish strong, too. Yeah, we're just going to take this a little bit. That's fine. Ideally, we hit the bottom ring, but that's fine if we hit that top ring. And we're going to keep going straight and explode, and that'll be that level. Quite happy with that, actually.
Yeah,
That's
good rulers for sure.
That is one of the harder ones, definitely. Later, Joel. Nice
there
knowing
he
you.
goes, yep.
All right, Rash Mike. This one's kind of fun because we spent a lot of time not seeing the map, just kind of out in the desert, wandering aimlessly. And you can cut across that tiny little sand spit there, but the thing is that not only is it A, tiny, but B, it has a death checkpoint on the left side. So if you cross the spit of sand, but you're a little bit on the left, you explode. Which is just like, come on, don't put a little path there, except it's gonna make you explode most of the time. Like, it's very cruel. But that's one of the like kind of upgrades that I'm looking to integrate into my route at some point. It's just scary. I mean, I don't know how long we've been going for, but we're on race like what, 16, and like just getting a few more seconds and risking it all. It's like that's kind of a tough sell, but every time I drive by it, I'm like, oh, curse you, little path, curse you, smug little sand pit. All right, so this went pretty well so far. It didn't look like much, but that whole section where we're kind of cutting close to the kill squares, the kill checkpoints, but we didn't hit any of them. So yeah, when this run goes well, often it doesn't look like you've done anything because you
Right.
don't see the explosions when you go too far. So now we're on the second of the chopper levels. This is the hardest of the three, which is kind of strange. It's twistier than the others. It's kind of, I guess it doesn't have more obstacles, but they're harder to avoid. And what's funny is that not only is that true, but also that it was harder in the NES version. The third level was harder in the NES version, and they made it easier still, and it still wasn't very hard. Like they removed a couple obstacles from the third level, so I don't know if they meant to swap them at some point or what, but and here's the little spout will kill us if we touch it. You can cut on the inside, which save like fractions of a second, but if you're off, you bonk into the wall or you explode. So we're just not gonna mess with that spout. We are gonna try to not hit these sides of the walls though. That would be great. So yeah, mostly in these helicopter levels, we just want to focus on having nice clean lines, not bonking on anything, not turning any sharper than we need to. And because we want to be done with them as soon as possible.
This is where music maybe would help. But
Yeah.
At the same time, like you brought up before, it could just be absolutely terrible music.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, the sound of the motor might drone you to sleep.
Yep. Yeah. This is a good late night run for anyone trying to fall asleep to this stream.
Some good white noise, yeah.
Good white noise.
Helicopter ASMR.
Yeah,
exactly.
yep.
I was just thinking that. Okay, so last of the warrior levels. Same deal, no huge cuts in this one. Avoid the super glue, which is easier said than done on this one because they really went out of their way to put them in places that are very annoying. So we're just going to try to run a nice clean race and turn the wrong way because I thought that part was next. Oops. Okay, it's fine. And then another one. And that last little cheeky super glue I run into so much just because it's not there, and the other, like all three levels have a similar turn at the end, but that's the only one that has super glue at the middle of it. Oop, that second glue gets me a lot too because they don't usually come in pairs like that. Almost got me. Just one more lap of avoiding the super glue. Be great.
Wonder how long it takes them to clean up the tracks when the parents ask them to.
Yeah, right.
All this debris, super glue,
Oh, I hit a super glue.
oil.
I mean, we know the dad left the garage like this, and the kid's just like, "Oh, I'm gonna go play in the oil."
Yeah, get the neighborhood over.
Well, we almost had a glueless run there. As you can see, it does slow you down quite a bit when you tag the glue there, because you have to. Not only does it slow you down, you also have to accelerate back to speed from 0, which is quite slow acceleration. All right, this tank level is where the tank levels start to get a little bit scarier. I'm gonna go ahead and kill those guys off real quick. Hopefully we don't get tagged. Okay, good. This is one of the problems with this level, with the tank levels in general, is that sometimes you just get randomly tagged by, shoot, I don't think that's right. Crap. We're just gonna turn around and go back. It's okay. This is the one. I was looking at the wrong the wrong army man. Because the first one, it was turn at the first army man, and this one is turn at the second army man. This is hard to keep in your brain sometimes. All right, we're going to try this again. But yeah, the one thing is that the rubber banding with this level is not as noticeable, so you almost always end up running into the other cars to some extent. Oh, I didn't take the cut that time. I got scared. You always end up running into the other cars to some extent, which is, you know, they can snipe you with their bullets from across the map sometimes if you're not lucky. So, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna have a cleaner last lap. I'm telling you, calling it right now. Also, I'm very happy that I found this little shortcut on the book here, because if you don't take this shortcut, the AI really loves to get stuck and just drive in circles, firing wildly. And that there's a specific spot where they like to do that, and that shortcut bypasses that spot. This is scary. Okay, did not. If I got tagged there, that would have been real bad. But and we're just gonna let this guy hang out. Oh, we're gonna kill him right before
Last second betrayal. Oh.
Almost. I missed.
Yeah. Never saw it coming.
Never saw it coming, and he never will.
Dwayne.
All right, so this is a very challenging race. The sports cars are absolutely my favorite levels, and they're also definitely the hardest levels. They're so drifty that if you don't react to something in time, you're sliding off the level. And these bridges can be a real pain in the butt, especially when the AI is around. Oh no. Okay, it's gonna be fine though. This is also the only Micro Machine map that I could not find online because it actually doesn't appear in either the Nintendo or the SMS versions of this game. Instead, they get the last level twice.
Oh, great.
Yeah, pretty silly. So I actually had to go into like MS Paint and draw my own little maps to try to like keep track of shortcuts and things. So we're gonna kill speed there to make that bridge. Oh boy, okay. Okay. This is fine, everything is fine. Yeah, these little bridges are unforgiving. And sometimes I really have to trust that I'm lined up for them because like if you try to correct for them, like you really can't turn on them pretty much at all. I keep bonking on that chalk there. It's fine. If you are lined up and you try to correct, if you doubt yourself at the last moment, you're gonna fall off it pretty much guaranteed. They are quite narrow. So sometimes you just have to trust that you're lined up right, and like I've definitely fallen off where I didn't trust and I was lined up right, but then yeah, disaster struck. Okay. Oh geez. I'm not gonna hit the chalk this time. Thank you. If you cut that a little too far, again, explode. I don't know why I fall there. Oh no. This has happened so many times. I think that turn looks like another turn where you do go left instead of right, but for some reason I messed that up way too much. But we got through it. Still not bad. Still quite happy with how this is going. All right, this is the third and final powerboat level. We do have a bubble railgun on this level, so you can see that tube right behind us. Whoa, okay, I've never seen that happen before. Thanks a lot, jeez. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, well, I want to figure out how to have that happen, but going forwards. Can we make that a thing? Because that was a lot of speed going the wrong way.
Honestly, quite incredible. Honestly, that had to happen now.
Quite incredible. That's marathon luck for you, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to line up with this one. Oh, didn't quite make it. Get on the second time. So you don't go flying nearly as far as you do on the first level, and the end is right there, so the last lap you definitely don't want to go for it, because even if you get it, it's not going to save you any time. But we'll try on our next lap here to do a clean bubble railgun. Do our best job. Crud. Okay, that's fine. It's still faster than not going for it at all if you're not on the last lap. If you have to retry once, it's the same as if you didn't go for it at all. So it's always worth going for, except on the last lap. It also kind of lines you up for the second attempt, which is nice. So if you miss the first one, the second one's almost always successful. All right, so we're not going to go for it this time because there's no reason, because the end is right there. And yeah, those are the power boats. Oof. So there's 26 races in total. Well, actually 29 counting the bonus races. So we're coming into the end of the game here. Picking up Walter, everyone's favorite.
Last stand for Walter.
Last stand for Walter, yep. There is a Walter percent for this game where you play as Walter and try to beat the game. I don't know why people do that, but yeah, because he is drastically slower. So if you play Walter percent, you have to deal with the AI quite a bit more because getting past them is no longer trivial. So here we basically just have to count to 6, 5, 6. That's the main obstacle in this course. There used to be a second air conditioner in the Nintendo version, but they took it out. And there also used to be a snail obstacle, which there aren't any snail obstacles in this version of the game. Oh, come on. So if we have any announcements, now is a great time for them.
All right, we have no new bids, but I can talk a little bit about the event. You are watching Midwest Speedfest 2022, a charity speedrun marathon live from 2DCon 2022 simulation in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We'll be live nonstop until Sunday afternoon, about 12 hours from now, showcasing amazing speedruns and raising funds for the Children's Cancer Research Fund as part of Creators Against Childhood Cancer. To donate, go to donate.midwestspeedfest.com.
Thank you so much. All right, so now we are into, I think this is the level I'm thinking of. Yes, Chalk Dust Chicane. So this is a level that I recently, with the help of the Mr. Saitan, the NES runner, recently blew the lid off of. He made a discovery, and then I made some other discoveries based on that. And now this level is a real nail biter. So we're going to cut in through here. We're going to tag this checkpoint. And then we're going to come back down here, and we have to sneak in. Oops. Sneak in. Come on, we can do this faster. Sneak in between the checkpoint and this hole. So we just cut out a ton of the level. And now come down here, and we're going to tag that checkpoint, and then come up through here. And we're going to sneak through here, tag that checkpoint, and that's a lap. And that at least cuts it in half. And this is not a short race. So that's a pretty big deal. It's hard to do this quickly. No, come on. Oh, that's not what you like to see.
Second try.
Shoot. And this is a brand new trick that I only just discovered while derusting for the speed run. There we go. Jeez.
Was it? Oh, that's what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, you're supposed to cut in front into the, because they didn't intend for you to be able to enter the hole. They assumed that the checkpoint was going to explode you. So if you can sneak past that checkpoint, it just wasn't ready for it. You still have to tag this checkpoint though, which kind of baffles me. I don't know why this checkpoint has to do with anything to do with, oh gosh, darn it, come on now. Okay, come on, okay.
Very nice.
Oof, last time. Okay, being a little bit overly cautious here. It's okay though. There's also a bunch of hidden kill planes and stuff, but we are going to die here on purpose to do our early finish glitch. This is actually the map where I discovered the early finish glitch on. So, oh boy. All right, the last tank level. This one is not. Don't tank this one for granted. Oops, actually didn't want to kill that guy because now this happens. Okay, we're through though. So here the shortcuts are very, very important. And unfortunately, there is a shortcut where if you mess it up, it's pretty easy to accidentally add a lap. And if that happens, like, you're just done, because not only do you have to race an extra lap, it basically becomes impossible to catch up to the AI, so you're like basically guaranteed to lose the level on top of adding another lap. So we're gonna try our best to keep that from happening. Needless to say, did I just do it? No, I didn't. Okay. Oh my God, I just scared me. Oh boy.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Calm it down a little bit. Okay. God, that scared the heck out of me. So yeah, some pretty sharp shortcuts here. Oh boy, now I'm scared.
You got it.
Okay, so we're gonna play a little bit safer here. No, we're gonna play a lot a bit safer here. Okay, we're just gonna calmly. Okay. Whew, okay. So an interesting thing about these tanks is that they turn much faster stopped. So sometimes it's better to stop and turn instead of slowly arcing around like that, which is interesting. Definitely means that I have to make a decision if I want to stop or not. Like for some like 90-degree turns, it's kind of a no-brainer. Like here, I think it's, ooh, don't like to see you. No, you can go away actually.
Just firing randomly.
Yep. Oh God.
That was
okay.
close.
That was close. That was way too close. Oh, and I don't like to see you either. Ah, you're gonna be fine though. I am gonna kill you this time though. All right, we are on to the last level. Oh God. Okay. All right. Win this race to be champion. You do not win if you come in second place. You must come in first. This is one of the harder laps, maybe the hardest lap, because it's a sports car, so you're sliding around. And it's got a ton of bridges. I'm playing a little bit safe here because I'm nervous. Gonna line up for these guys. Okay. And for that guy. So we do like to bonk off this here pen so that we line up for the ruler, but I still managed to mess it up, so that's not good. We're gonna take it nice and slow there. Nice and slow, get our nerves back. Go above the inkwell, try not to bonk there or there. Calm down. Just having fun. Calm down.
Just beating some neighborhood kids.
Showing them how it's done.
Yep.
Darn kids and their micro
I think
machines.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Back in my day, we had macro machines, and we liked it. Okay. All right, coming into our final lap here. I'm just gonna focus. You have to slow down there, or else you'll, why did I talk? You have to slow down there, else you'll fall off, which I just did. Okay, geez. So time will be when we cross the finish line. It's coming up soon. And time. May I ask what we ended up with? That, my friends, is a new world record.
Yeah!
Let's go! Woo! Oh my God.
Another marathon world record.
Another marathon world record.
Congratulations.
Oh
Well
my
done.
God. Goodness
Well
gracious.
done.
Holy smokes. That was so nerve-wracking. I don't have my splits, of course. I'm like, I think I still have a chance at it.
Yeah, it
Oh
was a
my
really
God.
solid run.
Oh,
Well
jeez.
done.
Definitely see some nerves in there, but.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for having me. This was a blast. We'll be back with this guy racing Sonic 2 tomorrow morning. Otherwise, if you want to check me out, you can find me at twitch.tv/March_TV. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yep, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning.